Everyone, it's Kirei here with another layout for Bramble Fox, and I'm using the fabulous January Fox box, the Pine Trees set and the Snowflakes set. For this layout, I'm using the mix actually of crepe paper, mittens and mistletoe collection and Simple Stories mix and mingle. Okay, so I've pulled out some of the pattern papers and then I'm using this acrylic sort of ruler shape to cut out this bracket that I'm going to use as a sort of bottom edge to the paper on my layout. Of course, I'm going to distress the edges. I couldn't possibly not. And then I'm looking at whether I'm going to add a portion at the bottom other than just plain white cardstock. So I pulled the red cardstock out. And then I'm pulling out some bits and pieces of pattern papers that I actually have left over, and I'm just adding them to the back of my photo. So sort of just layering them up to create a border around the photo, but just using the different patterns. Again, a great way to use up those smaller pieces that you might have left over from a collection. So I pulled the red away, felt a little bit too bright, and I have this sort of pale, very pale, soft blue with little white, like snowflakes on them. And that's where I'm going to go. And then I was just pulling out some of my pom-pom trim and deciding what I'm going to do. I've just sort of thought, right, I've got lots of pom-pom trim. I need to sort of use it. It actually works really well on some of these sort of festive Christmassy layouts. So I've got this pale pink pom-pom trim and I'm just adding it to the edge of my bracket there, just using some double-sided tape to stick it down. And just make sure that that's all okay. Just didn't have the tape quite close enough to the edge there. And then that pom-pom, it just adds just a bit of extra, again, detail, but I love the sort of added texture and dimension that it also gives. So the photo I'm using is one of me in Covent Garden fairly recently, and it was a picture of lights in Covent Garden, and I really love going into London at this time of the year because it feels so sort of festive with all the lights and decorations everywhere. So yeah, I thought it was just it was a perfect photo to go with the perspectives for this month. So, okay, I've got the pom-pom trim on, I've got the pattern paper, and I'm going to get those stuck down together. Now, I've pulled out the happy and the stories and the little sweater, the jumper there from the Fox box. And I play around with them a little bit because I was looking at whether I could use the title Happy Stories and along with the sweater and everything, but I actually do change that. I sort of reduce that completely right down actually. So here I've got all those pieces that I'm going to use to just mount my photo, and I'm just distressing the edges of all of them. And there we go. I've got it all done, and I'm just showing you the layers. And I did cut another bracket piece from the leftover strip of the blue, and I just decided it felt a little bit like I needed something at the top there. So I've used that, and I quite like how it sort of points it down because the photo will sit in the center there. So it really just sort of draws the eye in down to the photo and the rest of the layout. So I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape to the top of the layout to the top of my photo only. I keep it flat at the bottom because that's where I'm going to be adding the my embellishment clusters. So I'm just making sure I've got it completely central and straight, of course. There we go. And then I've picked out a selection of ephemera and foam stickers, and I think there's some puffy stickers as well that I play with. So I'm just sort of looking at how it's going to sort of layer up on either side. So I'm just going to create two embellishment clusters going across the layout, and with just a mixture of different sort of, I mean, there's a fireplace there, there's a nutcracker, there's a pink door. So not all of it's necessarily that relevant to the photo, but I just like the colours and they worked well together. Now here I'm bringing in a few of the snowflakes from the snowflake set that was released for this December. And here we go. Oh, I've moved on and I have got all the ephemera and that's stuck down now. So you can see where I went. And I just pulled out the pine trees because I realised the colours were perfect because I've sort of gone with the pinks and the sort of green tones. I'm just going to get the little pine tree perspectives stuck down now using the glossy accents. Oh, and the snowflakes, of course, as well. So I've just used 2 snowflakes on either side and then just 3 of the pine trees. And I love those little pine trees. They are really, really, really cute. I've got the sort of green tone and then there's that really, the sort of deep green glittery one there. So they just added a little pop of extra green on either side, which really worked with the mix of pinks and greens that I've gone with just that soft bit of blue at the bottom. I've got my happy there. I do play around with it, as you can see, but I do keep it to the bottom and do decide to just use it on its own. And I am going to add then Christmas below it as well. So happy Christmas. So pulling in a few more puffy stickers, just checking to see if there's anything that works here. Play around with that one, but no, that doesn't make the grade. So yeah, I think we're almost done with that one. And then bringing in some pretty sequins, of course. What wouldn't a Christmas layout be without some sparkle? So I've just got these sort of soft, they're a really soft sort of sparkly, almost neutral colour and pink as well, that I just add to the layout. There you go. I've got those all stuck down, and I've got the Christmas at the bottom that I've added, and now I'm just going to add some journaling at the top along the edge of the bracket. I wasn't sure where to put it, and I just felt like putting it to the right of the photo or the left of the photo or next to the title just it upset the balance. So just taking it along the top there was perfect. There we go. That is the final layout. It came together really quickly. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Here are the close-ups, that lovely happy in that really nice new font that Moreg's using, and some close-ups of the snowflakes and pine trees. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.